No playoffs this year for the Saints or Titans, but there's reasons to be optimistic. We're going to break that down and talk about the Patriots, who sit on top of the AFC. Locked On NFL Scouting starts now.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins, and we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you're going to get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app.
Joe, happy Victory Tuesday to the New England Patriots.
Yes.
We will be talking about them. Although you could argue for where the Giants are at, that it's a Victory Tuesday for them as well. And the race for the other race that's happening, right? And I think it's the most interesting race in football, is not the race for the 1 seed in the NFC or who's going to win the AFC North. It's who's going to finish with the first overall pick in this year's draft with a perceived scarcity at quarterback and potentially as many as 3 teams at the top of the order that don't need quarterbacks, which currently sit 1, 2, 3 in the draft order right now.
Well, it's a good day to get into some of that because we are going to do the Levy Grail for the Titans and the Saints. Raiders and Cardinals fans, we know that you're eliminated from the postseason as well. That's coming tomorrow. We'll get to your teams tomorrow. If you're a Giants fan, we did your team last week. As teams are officially eliminated from the playoffs, we do the Levy Grail, where we talk about reasons to be optimistic. We know you're not getting to the playoffs this year, and that's no fun. But there's reasons to be optimistic. We're going to tell you what those are today. And we're going to start with the Tennessee Titans. And, of course, we will give you the Scottish poem, Fight On My Men. I am hurt, but I am not slain. I'll lay me down and bleed a while, and then I'll rise and fight again. The rallying cry for Hall of Fame coach Marv Levy, now 100 years old, Kyle Crabbs, for the Buffalo Bills and their year after year Super Bowl losses. This was the rallying cry, and so we use it to inspire hope for what these teams can be in the future. We start today's conversation with the Titans.
That's right. And the good news for the Titans, I'm going to look back on some of the recent drafts that the Titans have made with not this brain trust, right? Because you're going to have a new coach, obviously. That part's been decided already. I think that in and of itself is probably something that deserves to be acknowledged on the Levy Grill, that we're not going to go to war with Brian Callahan again next year, right?
Nope.
Maybe get a guy who knows the rules. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's helpful.
So Mike Borgonzi comes in as the GM. They made the GM change last year from Rand Carthon. Now the Borgonzi off the Kansas City tree is going to have a chance to be involved with Chad Brinker as what was his title, the Vice President of Football Operations or something like that. They're going to pick their coach now, and they know what they're picking for because they have a quarterback who they drafted with a lot of physical talent in Cam Ward, who's very top arm talent guy from last year's draft, and I think has potential to be one of the more physically gifted throwers in the game, right? So that in and of itself, great launch point. But your football operation is not being run by the same people who produced the following draft classes for you. Okay, I want to read through Rand Carthon's 24 draft with Latham, Tavondre Sweat in the top 40, Cedric Gray, Jarvis Brownlee no longer on the team. That's it for top 150 picks. Okay, so Latham, there's growing pains. I think he'll be fine.
Shout out Cedric Gray. I think he's having a good year. He looks showing some promise, right?
23, Skoronski, Will Levis, Tyjae Spears, Josh Wiley, top 150 picks. John Robinson, Treylon Burks, Roger McCurry, Nicholas Petit-Frere, Malik Willis. Those are all top 100 picks. None of them are left on the team. Hassan Haskins, Chig Okonkwo, those are top 150. 2021 under John Robinson, Caleb Farley, Dylan Raduns, Monty Rice, those are top. Elijah Molden, those are top 100 picks.
And trading away.
The year before that, Isaiah Wilson, Christian Fulton, Darrington Evans, top 100 picks.
A lot of black guys, Kyle Crabbs.
Holy smokes.
Those guys are out of here. We're happy about that, right?
Yes, it's a thing to be excited about because we don't know how good we don't know how good Mike Borgonzi is going to be when it's all said and done. But I know I'd rather take my chances than roll with some of those draft classes and the guy who was making them.
Yeah, they need to stabilize some of that, right? The GMs, the head coaches. I know that maybe you made a mistake along the way there with Vrabel, but I think the fact that all of that's behind you, you have a new direction with the GM that didn't do any of that. They're going to have a new coach that'll be aligned with the general manager. I think that's obviously very, very exciting. And how about $109 million in cap space projected to have the most cap space in the NFL? And it's really clean in terms of their books, only $535,000 in dead money. And so if I were a Titans fan, I'd be thinking a lot about what the Patriots were able to do this year with getting their new coach. They had a quarterback entering the second season that's physically gifted, but had plenty of warts in Drake May during his rookie season. And what did the Patriots had? They had resources. They had all the high draft picks. They had the cap space, right? And they had to overpay. They did. They had to pay the bad team tax, and Tennessee will have to do that as well. But if you get that right and you elevate that floor of the roster and you pair that with a good coach and you have a dynamic young quarterback that you can now build around this offseason, I think you can look at a couple of recent examples, even Washington 2 years ago, looking at the Patriots this year, looking at the Bears this year. There's a blueprint out here for some of the foundational elements that exist in Tennessee that they're going to have an opportunity to take advantage of with that last place schedule. And I think there's, obviously I can't promise you that you're going to turn into the 2025 Patriots or Bears in 2026, but you can look at the situations and find plenty of parallels.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned the cap space, because the other thing that stands out to me when I look at their cap situation, you mentioned how little dead money that they have. I would take advantage, if I were Tennessee, of having so much cap space, and I'd get out a few of these contracts. I would expeditiously move on from Calvin Ridley. You could save $13 million in cap space and take another 13 in dead cap. So you're saving versus he's on the books for 26 next year. I'd move on. I'd cut him pre-June 1st. I'd take the $13 million dead cap charge. I'd save $13 million. I got 13 more to spend, right? Okay, no worries. L'Jarius Sneed.
Got to go.
You got to go, right? You could save $12 million in cap space on that one and take $8 million. So, okay, now you're looking at $21 million in dead cap, but I'm out of the Sneed contract and the Ridley contract.
Yeah, it's a small price to pay, honestly.
Yeah. And, that gives you that much more flexibility, and those both can be pre-June 1st, so you're not deferring cap charges into 2027 as well. That gives you a lot more flexibility long-term for what to do with your money while having this slush fund of more cap space than you could possibly spend.
Right.
I mean,
it's good. You carry it over and maintain flexibility.
Yep, that's right.
You mentioned 2027. You know what happens in 2027? That beautiful new stadium. Kyle, we've seen a lot of new stadiums come through the NFL. This one makes me feel things. This is awesome. And it's been cool to see the goal up for Nashville. This is going to take it to another dimension, right? You're going to get this stuff. You're going to get Super Bowls, all the things that comes with a venue like that. And I think that's really, really awesome. So I'm excited for that stadium, and I'm sure Titans fans are as well. I got to sneak one more in there real quick.
Go ahead.
You got to be thankful and excited that Tyler Rowland is the host of Locked On Titans. I love him.
Yeah, baby.
I freaking love him, man. I look, if the Titans get good, that'd be great. But I mean, this guy, his rants are just absolutely epic. And so it through some of the down times here that have existed for the Tennessee Titans, Tyler Rowland is rolling, if you will, when it comes to really putting things into perspective. I enjoy that very, very much.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The new stadium, indoors, no?
I think
Enclosed?
it's
They have a roof they can put on.
yeah, I think it is. It just looks so cool to me.
Are you bothered by that?
No. You're playing in Nashville, Tennessee. It's not like you're
The
preserving.
elements are part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I generally like that, but it's not like Cleveland who's destroying that, right?
Okay.
Buffalo's said, "Come on, baby, we're gonna play outside. Bring those boys from down south up north in December, right? That's what you try to do.
Freeze
them out, baby. They're gonna melt you out early. We got to freeze you out late.
That's right. All right, that's
Saints.
It's the Titans. We're going Saints next.
We'll fight on with the Saints next, folks. Be sure to stick with us. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. And live betting is the best when the game starts to shift. The receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover, and FanDuel lets you jump into that moment. They give you live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet on the next touchdown score, drive result, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
Moving fast here into New Orleans territory, where the Saints need to fight on.
Fight on, baby. Let me start here with the Saints. We're only going to be positive. I appreciate that.
It's the whole spirit of Levy Grail it's all good things.
Gail Benson, the owner, said something recently that I think is very good. She acknowledged rebuilding, right? And we've watched the Saints try to put Band-Aids on it and rally post Breeze and Peyton, and it hasn't really worked out. And they've been in a lot of cap trouble. But here's the reality. If you can get through 2026, your books are clean. It'll finally, it'll really happen, Kyle. In 2027, as of right now, no dead cap. They have is it $135 million in cap space? Just get through 2026. And we no longer have to do this. Now, you got to do the stuff this offseason to not complicate that more than it's been in recent years. But if you can get through 2026, you can join the rest of the world when it comes to cap and clean books.
I'm going to take you a step further here. I'm going to talk about some players that we finally reached the end of the rainbow with. The Taysom Hill contract. It's over. This is it. Now, you're going to have a $13.7 million dead cap charge for all the times you restructured out his contract for him to not be on the roster next year. But if you're dealing with $100 million in dead cap space this year, I mean, this is par for the course, right? You don't have that anchor on your books any longer. Cam Jordan, great player.
Yeah.
Outstanding player. But we're at the end of it, right? We're in our late 30s at this stage. His contract expires. It's another $18.7 million in void money that's going to be on the books. Please don't re-sign him. Please don't extend him and kick it out and allow it to continue to reach out into your future. Demario Davis, outstanding player.
Boy, I love Demario Davis. Still one of my favorite players in the league. I don't care.
If you were to extend one of the three names that I just mentioned, make it be Demario Davis.
Get him on the Bobby Wagner plan 1 year at a time.
He could still go, right?
Yeah, he's a dude, man.
And you could save about $10 million in cap space minus whatever his salary was, although you'd probably prorate it out because you got to fit it on the books and you're in negative cap space already. But we're being positive here. You could save cap space by extending Demario Davis, but the Cam Jordan contract and all of the deferments and the Taysom Hill contract and all the deferments, we made it. We're at the point. So this is just not going to be a team that's very engaged in free agency. One more year. Let these older contracts mature and expire. If you want to do the contract extension with Chris Olave, you could save significant amounts of cap space there. If you wanted to extend Olave, he's done a good job this year being healthy. And he's got to stay on the Tyler Lockett plan, right? And Tyler Lockett was the master of protecting myself from hits. Yeah. And if Chris Olave plays that way, I think he should be fine. You do have lots of restructure potential for names that I think warrant being here. All right. You've got Eric McCoy's got a $10 million base salary you can restructure. Carl Granderson's got just short of $11 million. Chase Young's got 14.8. He was awesome against the Dolphins. He made Pat Paul look as bad as he's looked all year. So it was a good game for Chase Young. Cesar Ruiz, 9.5. Justin Reed, 9.2. Pete Warner, 6.25. I wouldn't bat an eye at restructuring any of those names.
Right.
And that gives you operating cap to get through the season. It's not going to eat away all of your cap space, $130-something million in cap space for 2027. Just be disciplined this offseason in free agency. Don't go trade for Derek Carr and give him 4 years, $180 million contract.
Right.
We're good, right? Like we're the light at the end of the tunnel is not a freight train anymore. It's the actual end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and I think what helps maximize that is your leadership does continue. I know I've taken a lot of exception with Mickey Loomis, but I'm excited to see what he does through this phase, life cycle of the team. And you're pairing that with Kellen Moore. And that was a tough head coaching hiring circle. You don't have to do that again this year. And now you kind of have that foundation in place to make those decisions and figure out what you want this team to be moving forward. And I think you do have a lot of flexibility through this process. And I don't want to take your talking point because I know that this is something that you're big on. So I'll just kind of set the stage here. But
take it. Go ahead, take it.
Well, they're going to pick high, and they do have Tyler Shough, and that creates a lot of flexibility for what they can do with their 2026 draft capital, and how that's going to position them to get a quarterback if they need one.
And if I were New Orleans, I don't think I would. I'd be compelled to see how the season ends with Tyler Shough. He's showed some stuff. Now, the question is, how much more can he grow as a guy who was under-repped in college because he was hurt all the time, but is ahead of where you would expect a rookie quarterback making his handful of starts in the NFL because he's an older rookie, right? Like, he's very mature. I mean, the talking point is him and Juwan Johnson were teammates at Oregon when he was backing up Justin Herbert. Juwan Johnson's 30 years old, been in the league for 6 years. They were teammates at Oregon, right? Yeah. Like, that's the pathway that Shough took to the NFL. So you acknowledge that I don't think you have to be all in married to Tyler Shough, but I do think Tyler Shough gives you as a top 40 pick for Kellen Moore in his first year.
Yeah.
Showcases some likable traits. It's how much of a ceiling is there? I would want to find out. And that opens you up for a lot of flexibility, as you said.
I think they have a tackle tandem. Talisi Fuaga and Calvin Banks. And I think Calvin Banks has exceeded my expectations at tackle. I thought he was a guy that his future was going to be at guard. I think he's telling me very clearly that he can play tackle. And I think he's had a very good rookie season under the circumstances. And so, man, that's good, right? Like, have a couple of tackles. You got yourself a receiver. And the interior offensive line, I mean, Ruiz and McCoy are still here. So that's good, right? To feel like you have pieces. Yeah, they do. It's not a devoid of talent situation. I think their defense overall is decent, right? I mean, all things considered.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Staley has that unit playing at a reasonable level based on just the overall dynamics of the team and maybe what they don't have personnel wise. And you're not always playing great complementary football, right? And the defense, I thought, has been at least reasonable for a team that doesn't have a great record.
So I had one other talking point, and it comes back to draft capital. And I know we just got done talking about the Tyler Shough element and flexibility. They have a 4-5 from Seattle.
Yep.
Right. So they also are projected to get a comp 4.
Yes.
So
they don't have their own 4 though. That's the Broncos property.
That's right. So they're projected right now to go 3, 36, 67, 128 from Seattle, a comp 4. Their own pick at 143 in the 5th round. They have Seattle's 5th round pick. So that's 7 picks in the first 5 rounds. We talked about the flexibility with Tyler Shough. I want to float another name out there for you, but we'll do it on the other side of the break.
All right, we'll do that, and we'll talk about the Patriots. Stick with us. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap, it's something that you use to share memories. Because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it. So when they plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. And look, who wouldn't want this gift? I mean, grandparents, parents, newlyweds, anyone who loves photos. You can have endless uploads of pictures and 30-second videos through the Aura app. You can add personalized messages right inside the frame so the gift feels thoughtful the moment that it's opened, and the packaging comes gift ready. There's no price tag. There's no wrapping needed. It's a huge win. It's a holiday gift that actually gets used, not something that's going to be forgotten in a drawer. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code LOCKEDON at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code LOCKEDON. The deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, Joe. We talked about interesting layers with the race for the #1 pick, and the Saints are in that conversation, but they have Tyler Shough. But the other half of that conversation is, if there's quarterback scarcity, and there's not a lot of them that are really attractive in the draft, and a lot of the best ones go back, you could set the stage where there's a lot of jumbling and moving around of names in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Did Spencer Rattler show enough, in your opinion, as a starter in the first half of this season to be a compelling trade target for a team that's looking for some kind of swing of the bat at quarterback? And if so, what kind of trade value do you think he could potentially bring?
Yeah, I think that's a good talking point. What did the Packers give up for Malik Willis? Like, something like that kind of feels like the type of trade we'd be considering. But I don't think anyone's going to trade for Spencer Rattler and say, hey, we've got a starting quarterback. But for a team that's looking for some compelling depth, it wants to have a battle, not everyone's going to get their answer. And so that is a piece that you can leverage, and I think they should.
So Willis got traded for a 7th-round pick in 2025.
Boy, they gave him away. Huh? He was so rough, though, for Tennessee, right?
Yeah, he was. So I want to mention some names, and you tell me if they are the right kind of names to invoke when talking about, hey, maybe a team that trades for Spencer Rattler. The Arizona Cardinals.
Sure, yeah.
It's Jacoby Brissett and trade for – they move on from Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett, and Spencer Rattler.
Love it. I actually love that, yeah.
So that's an interesting name. What about, depending on how crazy the Rams want to get, what if the Rams were interested?
Maybe.
They have a uniquely high pick. They've got 2 first-round picks. Maybe they make a splash, but maybe Matthew Stafford wants to play a couple more years, and they want not Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's an interesting team. Minnesota Vikings is a hedge for McCarthy, who they're obviously super invested in.
Sure. Like it.
What about the Miami Dolphins with $50 million in guarantees committed to Tua Tagovailoa that may make it exceedingly difficult for them to fully eject out of that contract?
Yeah. Was Zach Wilson a 1-year deal?
Zach Wilson's an expiring contract this year, yes.
There you go. Swap that out, maybe.
Any other?
Oh, you can keep going. Jacksonville
is a potential legitimate depth backup. What if the here's where it gets interesting, because you could tell me like Houston cashes out on Davis Mills, right? If somebody calls Houston about Davis Mills and then they've got a vacancy at backup quarterback, like, I'd want to knock the doors on.
Boy, they might want to hold on. They might want to hold on to him. They won 3 games. They're going to win the division because Davis Mills was a paid backup, right?
Kept them afloat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Davis Mills hasn't started games in 3 years.
I know. Yeah.
If somebody comes knocking with a 3rd-round pick for Davis Mills, hypothetically, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. Would you trade Davis Mills on an expiring contract owed $4 million as your backup quarterback and then just like go get Cooper Rush from Baltimore or trade for Spencer Rattler?
I think what makes Spencer Rattler really attractive is
His contract.
Rookie contract. He had 2 years of that, right? So
Yes.
You don't really want to pay your backup quarterback if you don't want to, but now you get a young guy with physical upside that's started games, right? Like,
Yes.
I think that's an attractive trade piece. I mean, you're not getting a ton for him, but I think you can get a
but and some of these teams are probably asking, is it worth us taking a day 2 pick on a rookie quarterback?
Oh yeah,
Garrett Nussmeier, or do we trade
Spencer Rattler?
Trade a 5 for Spencer Rattler, hypothetically?
Yeah, that's a good point. I like it.
There you go.
All right, the Patriots.
The Patriots
smoked the Giants. They're entering their bye week as the number 1 seed in the AFC. They are 11-2,
half game up on the Broncos.
Position to end the Bills' 5-year run on top of the division.
I just realized if the Patriots beat Buffalo, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would move to 12 wins and Buffalo would have 5 losses and Patriots would have won both head-to-head games.
Yeah. So they can clinch the division with a win over Buffalo out of their bye.
Big game.
Big
game. And the Bills this week have whomst?
Joe Burrow.
The Bengals. All right. In Cincinnati, or it's in Buffalo because Ted Karras said he expects somebody to show him his butt. I don't know.
And he also said he's excited about that. So let's not take the quote out of context. He was happy that's going to happen to him.
Yeah, I mean, New England. I don't know how much to take out of the game against the Giants, just because the Giants are a team that they feel like they're being run by an interim head coach right now. Jackson Dart comes back. The Patriots just jumped all over him early. Special teams right off the jump has an impact in the game where the Patriots get the good field position. And it just was like, oh, okay, yeah, they're going to come in and take care of business. And I think that's what's been most impressive about New England as a young team with a first-time head coach. They're obviously very bought into the messaging, but there's not been that moment yet where they've drank the Kool-Aid. And they've let a team that's not good get a jump on them and knock them out in a game where they shouldn't have been knocked off.
100%. They obviously had to get through the early games. They dropped that game early to the Raiders, and if you go back and watch that tape, which I've done, you can just tell it's just game 1. It's just game 1. There was some miscommunications between the receivers and Drake May, and it got ironed out very, very quickly. And of course, the Dolphins played them very competitively and they had a great chance to win the game. They turned the ball over 1 million times against the Steelers. And then from that point forward, there's been no hiccups. They've won 10 in a row. Yeah. And they've had chances. If you go to the Buffalo game, go to the Saints game, go to the Falcons game, the Bucs game, the Jets, the Bengals, they've had chances to blow it, and they don't. And they just don't, right? Like they haven't lost their focus in a big moment. They haven't allowed a mistake in the second half to allow them to unravel. And so while it's a quick glow up, but I think there's foundational elements here of a young contender with I think Drake May special. I think the world of Mike Vrabel. That defense plays really well. And this team to me is really untapped in terms of where this offense can go as they build it up with weapons, as they build up this offensive line, as some of these young players get more experience in the O-line. Like this team's in business, man. They're here, dude.
Yep.
I don't think I'm not going to promise you're going to win the AFC this year, but who is?
I think that's the compelling piece. Is it is such a wide open conference this year.
Why not? Right?
Can I say something though about and maybe it's just my fan base. I see a lot of hand wringing about, the Patriots are back. They're back in front of the Bills again. They're back in front of the Dolphins again. The Dolphins had a whole build. That's how life cycles work in the NFL, right? Like, can we normalize like teams get bad and then they get good again?
Well,
can we please normalize it? And I get like New England's been the exception to the rule because they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick for 20 years. I get that. But yes, teams get bad, they get more assets, they get good. Now, there's some teams organizationally that are catastrophic train wrecks whose owners can't get out of their own ways, and their peaks and valleys aren't as extreme. But like New England's in front of everybody. They're just starting a life cycle. They just drafted a quarterback that very clearly worked.
But you've seen plenty of those life cycles just not get going, right? And
Not like
the Patriots
this. Yeah.
felt like that with Gerard Mayo. Robert Kraft deserves a ton of credit for saying, get out of here. Mike Vrabel's available. He's the guy that's going to get us back.
That's what the good teams do on every front, right? Whether it's coaching, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's trading for Micah Parsons. If there's a too good to be true opportunity that's going to make you better, you make non-emotional decisions and get the best talent.
Yeah.
Right? It's what the Chiefs did with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. It's what the Patriots did with Gerard Mayo to Mike Vrabel. If you have the chance to close a deal in any capacity of your team, and it's too good to be true and the stars align, you have to do it because that's the fortune favors the bold. Fortune does not favor the stupid. So going out and
sure.
chasing fairy tales and fantasy marriages and this, that, the other, like
what Kyle's talking about is the Jets. Go ahead. I'll say it. Come on, man. Aaron Rodgers. Come on, dude.
Yeah, that part of it. Yes.
The whole thing that comes with Aaron Rodgers, it's not just him. It's the entourage.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other interesting part of that is, do you remember how close Philly was to being the team that got Russell Wilson when he was getting traded from Seattle?
I have not considered that until this moment.
So like you'll always look back in history and it's written by the victors write history, right? And like it's a good move because it worked. If it hadn't worked, you wouldn't remember it. But it's just one of those deals that, they deserve a lot of credit for spending in free agency, spending the bad team tax, having the ambition to make the head coaching change, being unemotional about it, and allowing a too good to be true opportunity to come to them. And the question now is whether it's a coach or a quarterback in the draft, whether it's the Rams and Fernando Mendoza, or whether it's Mike Tomlin shakes loose and somebody wants to hire him. Maybe you don't think Mike Tomlin's that kind of coach, but it's just John Harbaugh, right? Oh, the wheels fall off the bus for the Ravens, or maybe Eric DeCosta gets let go, right? Like if somebody like that shakes loose, every organization in the league that's not a perennial contender should be looking at that opportunity and asking themselves, should we make a move? Because the Patriots are the embodiment right now of why good teams do that, and it works.
But this one was real obvious. Mike Vrabel was available at a perfect time. Like it did a lot. We don't know all of the coaches that could be available this offseason, but if you're looking to do that, is there a guy? Mike Vrabel's not sitting around, right? I mean, is it John Gruden?
No. Let's be honest about John Gruden's resume the last 15 years.
It's no good. And plus, we got to keep him in the media space, man. This guy's great.
Right. So, I don't know that an obvious one exists right now, but that's the thing about him, right? Is Mike Vrabel probably shouldn't have been made available when it was all said and done. There's friction with ownership there. Took advantage of it. Had his sabbatical year in Ohio State, right? Like and it was with
the Browns.
Cleveland.
He was with the Browns.
The Browns, yeah.
Chilling, yeah.
So that's going to do it for us here today on the show. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. We appreciate you guys checking out Locked On NFL Scouting. Come back. See us again tomorrow.